Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing today? Just getting started here for my morning here in the island. I hope everything's going well with everyone there at Select Homes. Believe it or not, we're actually going to be doing a little bit of training here this morning. I want to thank Brian, of course, for emceeing today, kind of getting everything going, and taking care of everybody, getting the announcements out, and getting everything set up. And also, thanks to Tara and Tony for doing a buyer specialist meeting today. I'm sure you guys did a fantastic job. Yes, you guys probably noticed I'm not here today. Here in Wichita, I am out of town. I'm not going to tell you guys where I am, but let's just suffice to say that it's a lot warmer here than it is there. So I hope everybody's going well. I hope you guys are having a great week. We want to jump right into our material here. I'm not sure I can do it with sunglasses on or with my fake hair, but why don't we go ahead and drop down here. Let me get another drink. Never mind, it's a fake beer. Let's go ahead and jump right into our material here. I'm going to share my screen real quick. I'm going to go with what I have on screen 2. I'm going to share that with you guys real fast. And if you're wondering, this is the same type of technology that we utilize when we do our training around the country. So the session I want to do today is what we call there are no bad leads, just bad attitudes. And by what I mean there is this. I need to fix a couple things here on my screen real fast. Give me just a moment to get this set up. Here we go. Oh. Not everything works just like we'd like to all the time. So let me see if I can get, there we go. So what I mean by there's no bad leads, only bad attitudes. First of all, leads are neither good or bad. Wait a minute, it is a little bright here. Let me put my sunglasses back on. Anyway, leads, man, I tell you what, I have to get some sunscreen. My bald head is going to burn pretty bad. Anyway, there are no bad leads, guys. There's only bad attitudes. And by that, what I mean is leads are nothing more or nothing less than information. You know, as an ISA or as an agent for that matter, we can only be responsible for we cannot be responsible for the accuracy of the information we're giving. We can only be held responsible for what it is we do with that information. Remember that. You can't be held responsible for the accuracy of what you get, but you can be held responsible for what you do with the information. First of all, to really effectively understand how it is we're going to be utilizing these leads, we need to think about in our head, you know, do we live in a world of scarcity or do we live in a world of abundance? And on the screen, of course, we have the proverbial glass half full, glass half empty. What kind of person are you? Who do you want to be? How would you like to carry yourself? And I don't know about you, but I would prefer to be a person of abundance and not a person of scarcity. And what I mean by that is I look at the world from a positive situation. I look at leads that come to me as opportunity, not as something I just have to do or have to get to. Oh my God, they're all going to be bad. I look at each one with, you know, like Christmas morning. Man, I wonder what's behind this thing when I unwrap it, I unpackage it. So first thing we have to do is if you find yourself getting into the situation where you think these leads are bad and they're not any good, wherever they might come from, you have to start to change your mindset. And there's no greater place to think of all. Here's what I want us to start with. There's no greater place to control your own destiny than the world of professional real estate sales. No better place. The world is your oyster. You should never have to go anywhere else. You should never have to entertain doing any other kind of business. What you make out of this position is 100% up to you and nobody else. Who you become, what you achieve, how you succeed has its roots in your attitude and your mindset. There's no doubt. I mean, look up a million YouTube videos on it. You're going to find them all. You're going to find them all over the place, from Tony Robbins to Tommy Hopkins to, you know, Simon Sinek, you name it. right? What we become has a lot to do with us. And what we have to do first and foremost is recognize that a lot of us carry a lot of what I would call negative tapes in our head. Things that have happened to us in our lifetime, things that other people have said that we wouldn't be productive, or you're crazy going to real estate, or why do you want to do that? You know, we carry these tapes in our head, and we have to learn to turn those off. All that external noise from all those other people and how they dropped all that negative stuff on us, man, we got to let that stuff go. We need to begin to recognize the others around us and the effect that they might have on you. We need to move away from negative people. We need to get around positive people, and that's whether it's here at work or other parts of our life. We can't allow that negativity to seep into who we are and what we do on a daily basis. In order to achieve the success we seek, we need to begin to reframe our mindset, and we need to make conscious decisions that each and every day, and that each lead is an opportunity. We need to reframe our mindset and realize that each day is can be a great day, and each lead can obviously be an opportunity. But it all starts with us. First of all, let's look at how negativity and positivity manifests itself in real estate. So when you get a prospect and you call them and they say they're just looking and they're not interested in buying, do you seek a referral? Or if you happen to be in a networking situation and you're talking to somebody and they say, well, yeah, I'm not really in the market right now for myself. Hey, I'm just curious. You happen to know anybody else you might think of? Maybe somebody you work with, or maybe you go to church with, you may have overheard recently was looking to buy a home. Do you do that? Of course not, because you have a mindset of scarcity, and there's no way if you ask that you might actually get it. When a prospect says that you have the wrong number, do you mention to them that you're also interested in seeking listings, and even though you have a wrong number, that this might be crazy, but you guys aren't thinking about selling your house, are you? I mean, you're already on the phone. They already picked up and said hello, so it's the wrong number. Why not let them know who you are and what it is you do for a living? You never know. And you're sitting there thinking to yourself right now, well, that's crazy. That would never work. Of course not. It wouldn't work for you because you wouldn't try it. People get opportunities, listing referrals from many, many sources. Obviously, on the abundance side of the scale, do you start your conversations with enthusiasm? Is your 25th call of the day the same as your first call of the day? You give people the benefit of your expertise and your enthusiasm, your passion for the work that you do and how you help people. When you get that wrong number, do you see it as an opportunity to spread the message about the company, or just a dead end? See, it all does begin right up here. Let's look at a couple more of these. When you call somebody and maybe you run across somebody who's for sale by owner, maybe there's somebody on your street and they stick that sign in your yard, and of course you walk down there, knock on the door, and say, hey, hey Joe, remember me? I live a block or so down. I know we haven't talked much, but I noticed you were selling your home for sale, right? Do you try to get an appointment right then and there and say, hey, I'd love to be able to help you sell your home, and they say no? Do you just give up and say, hey, well, forget it, he wants to sell by his own, I don't want to make him mad? Or do you follow along with him, maybe check in on him a few days later, or a week later, or 2 weeks later, see if he has an open house? Go down after the open house and, hey, did you get much traffic? What's the situation? Is there any way you think I might be able to help you? I'd love to be able to look around and give you a little bit of advice on how you might be able to sell your home quicker in this market. Do you give up just because they say no once, or do you attempt to build a relationship based on value? When you hear somebody say they're just looking, you just give an eye roll and then swear under your breath and call them, crazy? Of course not. You have to understand that that mindset of abundance, and recognize that the vast majority of people we talk to each week, the vast majority of the leads that we call on are not going to flip and want to buy right away. We know that in our database that most buyers are in there up to 300 days or more. The incubation time is 300 days or more from the time that we first meet them via the internet till they actually make a move and buy something. So recognizing that they're 6 to 18 months out, should we not play the field and recognize that if they're not ready now, then we want to thank them for coming to our website and appreciate the fact that they were there and encourage them to come back? Or do we want to make them feel bad because they're not ready to buy in the next 6 months because you need a check? A little straight talk today, folks. A little bit of red stripe or 3 or 4 or 5 will do that to you, right? You see, there really are no what I would call bad leads. See, it's our responsibility as a sales professional to attempt to qualify each and every one of those leads that we get. Yes, even the perceived bad ones. It's our responsibility to dial the phone, send the email, send the text, to engage each and every person that we come to and attempt to have a conversation. You guys probably have heard me talk about the 3-foot rule. I first started in business many years ago. I learned about the 3-foot rule. And that rule basically says is anytime I'm within 3 feet of somebody in the public, I must strike up a conversation with them. That's it. So if I'm standing in line at the grocery store and there's a woman in front of me and she's got a bag full of groceries, I may say to them, wow, man, you got quite a haul there today. That's it. If I see a gentleman standing, sitting next to me at the cigar lounge and he's smoking a cigar, I need to reach over there and say, hi, I'm Mark Benefiel. You are. Right? If I'm at the coffee shop and I'm standing in line and there's somebody behind me and I see him on a frequent basis, wow, I see you here all the time. You work nearby? My responsibility is to strike up conversation with people because I know in my mindset of abundance that there's opportunity in every person I meet, whether it's them or it's somebody else. Another one of my responsibilities is to treat every lead, every opportunity with dignity and respect. Just because they're not buying today doesn't mean they won't buy next month, next year. Just because they're not buying or selling today doesn't mean that they don't know people that are buying or selling today. That's why I thank them for coming to the website. I appreciate the fact that they were there. I welcome them to come back as often as they would like, to use it as a great communication tool. We need to treat everybody with dignity and respect, regardless of where we find them at. We need to have a fallback plan if our initial plan doesn't work. One of my favorite philosophers in life, the immortal Mike Tyson, once said that everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. I don't know, maybe a year ago or more, some of you remember these two ladies. They were fighting for a world championship. On the left is Ronda Rousey. On the right is Holly Holm. And Ronda Rousey at the time was undefeated. She was just an American, she was just bad to the bone, right? She smacked everybody down, beat everybody down within 20, 30 seconds of a fight starting. And her basic fight was to come right at you, straight in your face, dot you right in the eye, stagger you back, grab you, throw you on the ground, get you in a hole, choke you out, and game was over. And she did that successfully time after time after time. Well, she came up against this person, Holly Holm. Holly Holm was a martial artist, a jiu-jitsu fighter. And so when Ronda Rousey came at her to punch her, she moved away from it and she missed it. And she tried to punch her again, she missed again, right? And then all of a sudden, Holly started throwing blows. And within basically a round, Ronda was defeated. See, she only had one plan. Her plan was to stand in the middle of the ring and just duke it out. Holly, though, moved and shucked and jived and bobbed and weaved, right? And she kicked her, and eventually she kicked her inside the head and knocked her out, right? We have to have more than one plan. Our only plan can't simply be, hey, I'd like to, are you interested in moving in the next 3 to 6 months? Oh, you're not? Well, hey, I'd love to be able to help you in the future when you're ready. Give me a call, or maybe I can follow up with you. See, it's not much of a plan. We have to have a plan in place. Unfortunately, as you see right here on the screen, the plan for a lot of people is as follows. Hey, plan A is to get an appointment when I call. If plan B doesn't work, or plan A doesn't work, I go to plan B. Plan B is to push harder for plan A. If plan B doesn't work, I go to plan C, and plan C is to push harder for plan A. If plan C doesn't work, then I give up, and I blame the prospect for being stupid and wasting my time. That, unfortunately, is a lot what I see. Not necessarily just in the walls here at Select Homes, but all across the country. Our one goal when we get somebody on the phone is to get an appointment. What if they're not qualified for an appointment? What if they're truly not going to be purchasing for a year and a half from now? So you have to have a fallback plan. See, believe it or not, at Select Homes, we have a very clear fallback plan. We use it in the call center a lot, and it basically looks like this, right? One thing, when you call somebody, you could get a buyer's appointment. That's an opportunity. Somebody's ready to buy and they're within the time frame. They're not speaking with another agent. They've looked into financing and they're presently either pre-approved or working with a loan officer. et cetera, right? If that's great, we set a buyer's appointment. If not, sometimes those meetings turn into list appointments, meaning when we talk to them, we find out they got to sell before they buy. Hey, fantastic. If that doesn't work, we actually fall back, right? Or if that's not the situation, we fall back and see if we might be able to help them get into the world of financing, get to with the loan agent if they're not ready yet to buy. Let's start that pre-approval process. Let's get them down that road. And we take a pre-approval attempt and fill out a sheet and send it to a mortgage professional. If that's not the case, if that's not a situation that is right for this particular lead, then we will either establish or modify an establish or modify an internet search. We'll make sure homes are coming to them, that they're getting branded by Select Homes on a weekly or monthly basis. And of course, if all of those fail or they're not relevant to this call, then we work really, really hard to build that relationship for the future opportunity, set a defined future, and set our follow-up. See, remember, there's no bad leads. It's just bad attitudes about those leads. See, we have multiple fallback plans. If our initial assault doesn't work, then we just keep going back, fall back, fall back, fall back, fall back. Find the thing that's going to bring them value, and it's not always setting an appointment. In fact, sometimes setting an appointment is the opposite of value, depending on that particular prospect. Here's common statements that we might hear. Hey, I'm just looking. You guys hear that all the time, right? Yeah, I understand. Lots of people that come to our website are just looking. But people have interest in purchasing homes, sometimes 6 months, 18 months down the road. Hey, I'm just curious if you could wave a magic wand and be in a home. When would you like to be there? That's our initial fallback, right? We call them, they say they're just looking. That's our first attempt. Second attempt is, hey, let's wave a magic wand. But we allow them to preserve their dignity, give them a positive stroke, let them feel good about the interaction, right? Here's another one. Hey, I'm just looking for my sister. Hey, we hear that often. Thanks for checking out our site. Hey, I'm curious. What do you think about the house you were looking at? Well, I kind of liked it. Well, it sounds like your sister's in the market for a new place. Did you happen to know if she's working with an agent? Why not get that little bit of information? Why not just give up? And why just give up? So you always have to have these fallback plans. You got to be like, you can't be like Ronda Rousey, just go in there and just want to duke it out with them. You got to have step after step after step. And that's one of the things we work in this call center successfully. And that's a lot of times why we get appointments in a call center when the agent doesn't, because we have these fallbacks. And we're always trying to find a way to build value. And I believe that you can do the same. And I would certainly encourage you, especially if you're on the east side now, and our call center is right down the hall, sit in with them for an hour or 2 hours. Listen how Barbara and Jonathan, take people that you've already spoken to, and with a few days later, actually turning those into appointments. It's a great resource for us. Let's make sure we dig into those. You have a wrong number. Hey, I'm sorry, I have a wrong number. Struggle on purpose. Well, maybe you can help me. And the person says, well, sure. Well, my name is Mark Benefield, and I'm a real estate agent with Select Homes, and here I have a problem. What's that? Well, here's the problem. I've got too many buyers right now, and I don't have enough houses to sell them. I'm just curious. I know this is out of the blue, and this is the wrong number. But you wouldn't be interested in selling your home, would you? Why can't you ask that question? Of course you can. Because if you live in a world of abundance and recognize that every person that you talk to has value, sure, you could do that. You could absolutely do that. She's not home right now. Well, I'm sorry to hear that she's not home right now. Well, by the way, my name is Mark Benefield, and I'm with KansasRealEstate.com. She recently registered on our website and was looking at several homes for sale. And the reason why I was calling was just to tell her thank you and see if maybe I can answer any questions that she might have or learn a little bit more about her home buying situation. You don't happen to know when she might be back. You don't know if the other person on the other end of the line is the spouse, is a significant other, or is a roommate. Why not go ahead and hit them with the intro and see what happens? See, my mind tells me if I hit this person with the intro, she might have some material knowledge, or he might have material knowledge about that home search, maybe connected in a way that's not traditional. And there might be an opportunity there. See, my mindset says take that next step, even though nothing might come of it. Doesn't matter. Once again, I'm only responsible for what I do with the lead. I'm not responsible for the information I'm given. Having an abundance attitude truly is up to you. Leads are not good or bad. They simply are. What you do with the lead is up to you. You need to create positive thoughts. You need to have a backup plan. And quite frankly, at the end of the day, you need to have a little bit of fun. Because if you're not having fun, then why are you doing it? Right? If you're not having fun, then why are you doing it? Thanks a lot, folks. Have a fantastic week. I'll look forward to seeing you all next week again. And I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I will get back down the street here, have my beer, and enjoy it, folks. Have a great day.